Hi, today we're going to talk about gluteal amnesia, which also can coincide with something called piriformis syndrome. So if you feel like your glutes have taken a vacation and the result of that may be that your other external hip rotators have started taking over and doing some of the work that the glutes are supposed to be doing, you may be noticing that you have pain in the buttocks, in the hip, and it can be radiating down the leg. You sort of feel like this is where I want some help. This is driving me crazy. So the first thing that we want to do is some release work for those external hip rotators, and then we want to look at how to activate both the gluteus maximus and the gluteus medius so they can get back and do the job of supporting the hip and the pelvis. So some piriformis release exercises that you can do. I love using my melt roller. I'm going to show you some of the things that we do in our melt method, but this is not the full melt sequence. I can't call it that because with melt we need to be doing a rest assessment and specific techniques. Then we do another assessment. So we do have maps and sequences that we do. Today I just want to give you an idea of what we need to do to release the piriformis and activate the glutes, and so that you can kind of have a starting point for yourself. So the piriformis muscle are responsible for external hip rotation. So when I use my melt roller, I simply bring the roller underneath my pelvis. We want to make sure that the spot that we're on is very specific, and just do a nice little hydration here for your SI joint. So I just gently rock side to side to about 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. I want to land right on the SI joint. And then I'm going to hold it over to one side and just do some circles in through my hip. I just want to start to get some hydration and fluid flow happening in my hip. I'm just going to do some circles nice and slow. And I'm going to take a little breath in and exhale. Bring it back to center. Then I'm going to tip to the other side and just do some gentle circles there as well. So today is just a snapshot, like I would call a mini tutorial on what you can do to relieve hip and pain and get that activation. And then we take a little breath and exhale and then come back to center. So we'll do a little hip lengthening motion here. I've got my foot planted, my big toe ball is down, my knees lined up for my hip. I'm just going to gently draw my knee in, and as I exhale, I want to tuck my pelvis, where I'm drawing my pubic bone towards my belly button, and just visualize the energy of my knees moving in opposite direction. And the sensation I'm looking for is a lengthening sense in this hip. I want to ease up, tuck again where I'm drawing my pubic bone to my belly button, and my knees move in opposite direction. Paying attention that this knee is in line with this hip. I bring this leg up, and then I do the other side. So rather than just going right in and moving, mobilizing the piriformis, I want to kind of work the area around it. So I usually don't go right into where it hurts. I like to sort of nurture the tissue nearby and then slowly work my way there. So I'm just tucking, my big toe is down, and I'm visualizing this knee reaching over my toes, this knee coming to my nose. Now I'm going to flex this foot, I'm going to send this leg out, I'm going to bring my leg up. I want to keep my ribs heavy, but I'm going to tilt my pelvis on top of the roller. And as I flex my foot, if I'm in the right position, I'll feel a lengthening sensation from my heel right to my sits bone. So it's that sense that my whole leg is as one. And then I'm just going to start to turn my hip, in my hip joint, externally and internally. And then I'm going to hold that external rotation, making sure I'm still in my tilt, heavy ribs, and flex my foot and even think of pulling my baby toe to the outside of my knee. I'll take a breath in, and as I exhale, I'm going to take this leg across midline, but my other leg is also going to come in towards midline, keeping this thigh up nice and straight so I'm lengthened through the back of my leg. I take a breath in and exhale. I'm going to bring that leg back and place the foot down. I'll do the same on the other side. I take my leg across so it's lengthened. I bring it up. I want to tilt my pelvis and check that I'm in the right position, that when I flex my foot, I feel that line from my back heel all the way to my sits bone, so it feels seamless. Turn my hip out and in. I hold it out. I take a breath. I cross over midline, keeping this hip reaching down into the roller as I pull my baby toe back towards my knee. Feel this beautiful lengthening all on the outside of my thigh. I come back to center, bend my knee, and I allow that beautiful rush of energy and fluid flow all through the back of my thigh. Next, I'm going to take this leg up. I'm going to flex my foot, cross my ankle over my thigh. It's important that the roller is under the center of my pelvis and that my ribs are heavy. I'm going to bring my leg up. The most important thing here is that my hips are square on the roller and that I keep this foot flexed. Then I'm going to draw this thigh in towards my body as I use this hand just to apply some energy out. And I'm looking to externally rotate in this hip. From here, keeping my ribs heavy, I'm going to tilt my pelvis on top of the roller and continue to keep this foot flexed and provide that push-pull through my leg and my hand. Take a breath in and exhale. And then I'm going to bring the leg and place it down. Flex my foot, cross my ankle over, engage my core, bring my legs up. Keep this heel relaxed to your seat. Check that your hips are square. I then hold my foot flexed. I press my thigh towards me and reach this leg away without letting my body shift. I want to keep all of this centered. I take a focused breath in, and then I exhale. And then I come down. There are many other things I would do with the client here, but these give you a nice little start of opening up through the hips. Now I want to bring some activation into my glutes. So I'm going to go into my mini bridge. My feet are planted, my heels are close enough that my heels are on the floor, my toes are also on the floor. I want to tilt my pelvis on the roller, but keep my ribs heavy. So I really feel that I'm light on my feet and heavy on my pelvis. From here, I take a breath in. As I exhale, I'm going to shift where I come heavy on my feet and light on my pelvis. I'm still on it, but I'm feeling the pressure into my feet and that sense of weightlessness in the hip. Now I'm going to think of pushing my heels away from my seat. I want to narrow my knee angle, and then I'm going to lift my hips one more inch. And this is where I really feel that nice strong work in through my glutes and upper hamstring. I check that my ribs are heavy, my knees are reaching over my toes. I press my heels away as I keep my knee ankle narrow, and I feel that strong work in my glutes. I take a breath in, and I exhale. I slowly lower down, and I become heavy on my pelvis once again. Inhale. I'm in my tilt. I want to become heavy in my feet, so it's like I'm de-weighting. Push my heels away from my seat, narrow my knee angle, stay heavy in my ribs, and then from my lower glutes and upper hamstrings, I lift. Did you see that? Only my hips extended, but my ribs stayed where they were. I pause, I check. Feet push away, inner thigh, glutes are lifted. Take another breath, and I exhale, lower down. Now, if you're feeling solid in that technique, you can integrate it where you do it all at once. So right away, you push your heels away, you narrow your knee angle, you become heavy in your feet, and you lift. So you come up, bringing all of that together. Take a breath, and exhale, you come back down. So you could do 6 reps of this once you're into the repatterning or the reintegration. And then you lower down, push your heels away, feel your footprint, reach your knees over your toes, take another breath, and exhale to come down. Good. So that is a fabulous exercise to really get the gluteus maximus integrated. Then I'm going to come over onto my side. You can use your roller as a pillow. And we're going to do a side leg lift today. There's the clam, which is a great exercise, but today we're going to do the side leg lift. What's important here is that your pelvis is what we call stacked. Now, this is a brilliant exercise if you have a wall that you can lie against so that you can feel your back, your pelvis, and your heel against the wall. It's worth moving to a wall to do this. When your pelvis is stacked, you want to take this hip and make sure that it's sitting over top of the bottom hip. What you'll notice is that the ribs are down, but you've got that relaxed space in the waist. From here, we're going to flex your foot. One more piece, just roll your hip forward. From here, you're going to flex your foot and lift your leg up, just to about hip height. Now here you want to check, is your pelvis still stacked? This is where you want to shorten, and then what happens is your obliques and your QL, quadratus lumborum, in your back does the work. So check that you're stacked, reach that leg long, and then just lift a little bit higher. Lower back down. Again, check your stack, check your roll, lift your leg. Double check, are you stacked? If you are, you exhale and lift just a little bit higher. And then you come down. If you're against a wall, the wall will give you some fabulous feedback. If you are moving in your pelvis or in your ribs, you'll notice from the wall. So it's really great if you're sort of still learning, where is my body in space, that you have some feedback, say feedback from a floor, feedback from the wall, especially if you're home alone doing this. Good. So then again, you can integrate it. We stack, we lift, and we lower. And you lift and lower. And if you're keeping the stacking of the pelvis, you're going to really notice quite soon how much the glute med is working. We can also hold the leg about hip height. Check the stacking of your pelvis and moving just from your hip joint. So use your hand on your pelvis, turn out and turn in without moving your pelvis or your ribs. Internally and externally rotating. Good. And then you take a breath in and you exhale, bring it down. And then bend your knees. So from there, of course, you would do the other side. From there, it's nice to give a little stretch. You can just come onto your back, bring your knees into your chest, and then just do a nice little rotation side to side. Good. And I love this version where you step your feet wide and you reach this knee down and really get that beautiful stretch through your hip. And then you go to the other side. And one more time, big breath in and exhale. Good. So I hope you found that helpful. So if you are noticing that you are getting pain in your gluteal area, in your buttocks and down your hips, it could be that your glutes have turned off, your piriformis is overworking and starting to compress on your sciatic nerve, causing that pain. So give these things a try. It's important when you're doing any exercise that you're feeling strength versus strain. And if you're not sure, you have any questions, reach out to me. You can email me. My email is at the bottom of this article, linda@tw